Hello, vinyl community. Another live video for you. The Thursday live videos continue. This time getting started a little late. Um, I was just watching the Glenn Miller. Hey, Matt. I was just watching Glenn Miller. I was just watching the Glen Campbell um, documentary, All Be Me. Wow. Wow. Um, Yeah, so this first part is going to be a little tribute to Glen Campbell. Then I'll get into some music finds. Um, yeah, not the best mood to be in to do a live video, but um, just such a loss. So, uh, first of all, a big shout out and thank you to Matt for. I mean, you're the only person that I saw that did like a tribute video to Glen Campbell, and that's actually how I found out that he died. Um, so thank you for doing that, Matt. Yeah. Um, I realize the fan is causing causing the camera to wobble. I would try and explain my setup, but yes. Hi, DJ Legion. Um, yeah, Glen Campbell. My goodness. Um, oh, that's even worse. And for those of you that are watching this and perhaps don't quite get the whole live video thing, it's just things just happen, like the fan was making the camera go weird and all that, but I missed some comments here. Um, yeah, good. Um, yeah, in my Matt was saying that he did find quite a few tribute videos. I don't know how many were actually in the vinyl community though. So I did look on the YouTube vinyl community Facebook group just now, and there are a few posts about it. So I'm not completely disappointed, but he certainly deserves a heck of a lot more um, attention than he's receiving. I mean, let's get down to it. If you don't mind, having like a reality check about, life, the universe, and everything, definitely check out the documentary "All Be Me." Um, I already ordered it on DVD and also the soundtrack on CD. It has what was supposed to be um, his last song. It ended up not being his last song. Um, uh, I'm not going to miss you, or I'm not gonna miss you, something like that. A fantastic song, and at first I was confused about the meaning of the song, but um, I'm not gonna miss you, but I think it's speaking to Alzheimer's, because I mean, how can you miss someone that you don't remember? you know? Wow. Yeah. Anyway, before I get too deep into philosophical discussion, um, let's show some records. I'm very pleased with myself. This is the first artist I can be really pleased with myself, and I was digging through my collection to pull out all the Glen Campbell records. I thought maybe I had two or three at the most. It turned out I had six, and I did buy another one just yesterday. Um, so let's get down to it. There is something about this cover that just really gets me. Um, by the time I get to Phoenix, everybody has seen this one. Yeah, this is. I mean, they're all classics, really, but um, wow. I've always loved this picture. I thought, I in my memory I was thinking he was holding a bag, but he's holding his guitar case, which is even cooler. But yeah, there's that one. I have a bag of goodies over here to show after this. Um, this was from the bargain bin at Mad Platter. Um, I don't think it's supposed to be like one of his best albums, but um, I I've been listening to his music a lot the past couple days, and I'm realizing he just had so much good music, so much good music. Hello, Mackenzie. I know you're local too, right? You're in Riverside or near Riverside. Matt and I are both in Riverside. Hi, Lisa Ann. Yeah, just my goodness. So this is Bloodline. Yeah, West Coast in the house. Oh man. Yeah. Another classic, of course. Wichita lineman. Uh, yeah. I would hope you have those, but do you have this one? This one I was very excited to find. I don't remember when I found it, but um, oh yeah, Lisa Ann is from this general area too. So yeah. Um, yeah, so this is Bobby Gentry and Glen Campbell. Oh my goodness. There's a record collective at the Citrus Park? Is that what you said? That's bizarre. But yeah, this is a classic duet album. Another classic. These these that I've shown so far are well, maybe not the Bobby Gentry one. That one you don't see as much, but um, these other three, yeah, the more definitely more common ones, um, because they were so successful. Gentle on my mind, and I could certainly do with upgrades on all of these. I would like to get nice clean copies. This has some wear on it. Um, Now this one, I had never seen before, and I was thrilled to find it. And it appears to have been a $1. I'm just reading the comments here. Yeah, it's a lighter cover, so it's more noticeable, I guess. But um, this is the limited collector's edition. Glen Campbell. Very cool. And again, it has wear on it, but um, so certainly more of like a compilation. All right, now we're down to the one I picked up yesterday. I looked online and already yesterday things were still available, um, but prices had gone up already, and so with a Barnes and Noble membership, which recently I recently became a member of Barnes and Noble. Um, it brought it down to just below the going price online. So yeah, not only that, but I looked today, and most of the albums are sold out on Amazon. So, yeah. Well, we can only hope it's fans and not. Well, but we know the truth. But I was glad to pick this up. This was actually his final album, released just this year, which is, I mean, if you think about it, that's incredible. Because I think the documentary, I think that covered through 2013, and he was already, you know, I don't want to say far gone, but you know, he was having difficulties performing. Um, yeah. Uh, um, but this is Adios, his farewell studio album. Originally, let's see, I have it on the tablet here. Well, the soundtrack, "All Be Me," um, was supposed to have his last recorded song, which again was "I'm Not Gonna Miss You." Um, but then I guess I want to say the guy's name was Glen Cook. It's probably be on the inside somewhere, but I think his name was Glen Cook or something like that. Um, he he decided that Glen Campbell had one more studio album in him, and so he took him in the studio. He was no longer really able to play the guitar anymore. Um, so basically vocals, and from a review I read, you know, the disease's toll is pretty evident, um, and yet the Glen Campbell spark is still there. Um, yeah. So I was glad to be able to pick this up. Let's see if I can open this. I don't know how many people use this technique, but if you create friction on your pants or shorts without burning yourself, well, that didn't work too well. Probably because I'm wearing shorts and yeah, the leg rub. Oh man. Uh, let's see. It works better, or it's ideal on denim or jeans, you know, the leg rub. But I do want to try and keep the shrink intact because of the sticker. Um, uh, that I mean that documentary was absolutely beautiful and heartbreaking, but I don't know. I'm feeling kind of down right now. So hey, Vinyl Richie. Yeah, I was just talking about the documentary. I just watched it this morning. Amazon also has it. I actually ordered the DVD and the soundtrack. Absolutely heartbreaking, heartbreaking. Unfortunately, the shrink on this is extremely loose, but let's take a look. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. The inner sleeve. Huh, maybe it was Carl Jackson. Maybe I was mixing up names. Yeah, because here it says Carl Jackson. I think it was Carl Jackson that talked him into. Well, didn't talk him into it, I guess, but encouraged him to record one final album. Um, oh man. Oh. There you go. Yeah, so I was glad to pick this up. Um, it I don't know that I'm gonna listen to it right away. It sounds like it might be a difficult listen. Oh, there's also an insert, a lyric sheet. Yeah, it sounds like it might be a difficult listen. So I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it right away, but um, I was very pleased with myself that I didn't have to rush out and pick up some of his albums, you know, posthumously. Well, I'll put that back later. But yeah, I had to pick it up, and it was a choice between this and two of my grails, and I opted for this. I just thought it was more fitting, and I did want to get it before the prices went up even further. Um, yeah. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Um, and I encourage you, if you do have Glen Campbell items in your collections, um, definitely show it. Whether it's posting on Facebook or sharing a video in YouTube. Um, you know, let's be sure and remember him for a while. He was such an amazing talent. I'm grabbing a magazine I picked up yesterday. And you may be wondering why I'm showing this, but at Barnes& & Noble I picked this up, and I just recently learned, wow, you saw him in 1977? Wow, that was DJ Legion. Wow. Very cool. Um, you may be wondering why I'm showing this, though, but I just learned that Glen Campbell got his start in the Wrecking Crew, which, of course, was involved with the Beach Boys. So, on many of the Beach Boys recordings, Glen Campbell is performing on guitar. So, how about that? Yeah, so I picked this. I like to pick this up. First of all, as far as magazines go nowadays, it's fairly inexpensive, $4.95. Um, I'm not a huge Beach Boys fan, but oh he was obviously being part of the Wrecking Crew. You know, I'm wondering. I wonder if he performed on any of the Monkees records. Huh, that's very interesting. But yeah, as part of the Wrecking Crew, he performed on a lot of albums. Um, oh wow, Matt thinks he did. That's very interesting. And that that actually, I mean, I love the Monkees, but that gets me all excited about their music all over again because, I mean, if that is true, and Matt says he's gonna have to double check, but um, wow, that would be amazing. Um, DJ Legion says he has his earliest Glen Campbell is a 45. I didn't catch what song it was. Turn Around, Look at Me on the Crest label. Yeah, so um, I was also happy that it has a Michael Nesmith interview in here, basically promoting his book. um, Infinite Tuesday, which if you're strictly a Monkees fan and not necessarily just a Michael Nesmith fan, I wouldn't recommend the book actually, because it talks about the Monkees, a fair amount, but um, over the whole scope of the the book, it's actually very little. He talks a lot about religion and business. So if those topics don't interest you, you won't like the book. But I loved it. I loved it. Um, yeah, I do love Michael Nesmith. So it was kind of interesting, um, you know, kind of hearing what makes him tick, and um, yeah. So I really enjoyed Infinite Tuesday. I still haven't listened to the companion CD yet. Yeah, I need to get on that. But yeah, I do like this magazine, Goldmine. This is the August 2017 issue. Um, I actually listened to. You retracted some messages. How is that possible? Lisa Ann retracted some messages apparently. um, I thought she was saying that it was the book was a quick read for her. I actually listened. I mean, I bought the hardcover, but I actually uh, listened to the audiobook. Yeah, I listened to the audiobook uh, because it was read by him. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna pass up that opportunity to listen to him actually read it. So um, yeah, so that was great. But I do love this magazine. I had a subscription at one point, but I kind of let it run out, and now I just pick it up when I can, which is most months. Yeah, so I picked that up along with the. Uh, I keep wanting to say Glenn Miller, Glen Campbell record Adios, um, and my first stop before Barnes and Noble was um, Savers, and I found some stuff. I'll do the books first. It's pretty rare for me to find this many books um, at one time. There's some incredible backlighting there, but you're probably used to that by now. um, I don't think I picked this up already. I remember seeing it somewhere, but maybe it was priced higher than I was willing to pay. But this was like 350 at Savers. Glory Days, Bruce Springsteen in the 1980s. Um, yeah, so there's that one. Oh, this one's pretty cool. It might actually be something that Matt might be interested in. Um, yeah. So I hadn't seen this before. The Rough Guide to the Beatles. Um, and it's just packed with information. And you can see some pictures, but the text is pretty small, so there's quite a bit of information in there too. Um, and they also have these other bands, Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, and Pink Floyd. Yeah, it's pretty small. Let's see, and I mean you can see the book itself is pretty small, so that text is. I'm gonna say it's probably about maybe 10 point, maybe even 9 point. Well, it's probably not 9. Well, some of it is probably 9 point because there's some smaller text. But yeah, um, I know they have these books on a variety of topics. Um, I didn't realize that they did some on bands though. I thought they tended to be about. Well, I guess I have seen a record of. I want to say it's a rough guide to Bollywood. Um, and it's an actual record. Um, but I want to say these are usually like travel books or something like that. I could be wrong. A cool find nonetheless. I'll probably look through it and um, in addition to the Beatles stuff, it also has stuff about the Beatles movies and the solo projects, and like here's some about Ringo Starr. Yeah, so it's really cool. But I'll take a look through it, and if I feel like it's just gonna sit on a shelf, I'll probably pass it on to Matt. Um, yeah, cool to find it though. Plus, he's a much bigger Beatles fan than I am. Now, it's interesting. I found two books that were actually on my wish list. um, so yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If Matt says thanks, but only if I'm not going to read it. And honestly, I don't know that it's a book. Well, I know it's a book I wouldn't read like front to back. I'll probably flip through it and find some interesting things. But yeah. But if it's just going to sit there and not be used, it might as well go to someone that's going to appreciate it. Yeah, so this is one of the books that was on my wish list. This is Your Brain on Music: The Science of the Human Obsession. Um, yeah, I think that's probably the case with a lot of music books. They're 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 not really something you're going to sit down and read front to back. Um, it's more something we're going to flip through and find little interesting tidbits. Now this would be different because this is something you're probably going to need to read. I am a little nervous because I do know it gets into the actual science of our hearing and the way our brain handles music and stuff like that. So, I'll do my best to follow along, but science is not my subject. But I'm sure there's still going to be plenty of interesting information in there. Um, yeah. So I was glad to pick this up. This is Your Brain on Music: The Science of the Human Obsession by Daniel J. Levitin. Yeah. And a couple more books. And along those same lines, this is another one that was on my wish list. Oh wow! Kat said she wrote an entire research paper on that topic. You must be better at science than I am. And it's kind of funny in high school. There's a few times, I don't know how it is now, but back then, there were a few occasions where you would get your choice of certain classes. So instead of science classes, like chemistry and biology and whatnot, um, I opted to take agricultural science. So we were learning about the different parts of a plant and plant identification and future farmers of America. Yeah, it was similar to that, but I wasn't actually a member of the FFA. DJ Legion chimed in with that. I kind of wanted to be, but at the same time, they seemed like geeky cool, and at that time I was just geeky. So, um, yeah, you would also learn about how to artificially inseminate a cow, and you'd see the guy wearing the glove that goes all the way up to his shoulder. Woo, yeah, but I did well in the class, so that was the goal. Yeah. So, hey, Mark, how are you? Excellent. Um, Musicophilia: Tales of Music and the Brain, Oliver Sacks. Again, another one on my wish list. So I feel like I really scored on the books this time, and it was buy four get the fifth free, and I think it was supposed to be the lowest priced one that was supposed to be free, but I had only picked out four books, and so she just told me to just go grab another book, so I chose a hardcover. Okay, one more book. This one's interesting. I'm not entirely I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, Dallas Taylor. That's it. Uh, they have the Wrecking Crew doc on Netflix. Oh wow. Okay. Thanks, Mark. I'll definitely check that out. I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it, but I just watched the documentary about Glen Campbell, and man, uh, yeah. So, Prisoner of Woodstock, Dallas Taylor of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Oh, you were watching on Facebook. Good, good. um, yeah. So my music book collection is really, I think, is really starting to be fairly impressive. um, yeah. And no video would be complete without showing a little more music. So well, I think I started to say that my intent of going to Savers, and I went to Savers before I went to Barnes and Noble, um, and my intent of doing that was you can almost always find a Glen Campbell record there. But it was kind of fortunate that I didn't find anything on that visit, because it turned out I already had so many, so it would have been likely that I would have picked up a duplicate anyway. Um, but I did manage to pick up those books, obviously, and then some CDs. And one direction I'm taking my um, uh, classical music collecting in is CDs, and in particular these little multi CD sets. Um, yeah. So this is The Tales of Hoffmann by Offenbach. uh, yeah. Um, I mean, I have nothing against the band, One Direction, but one direction I'm taking my classical music in, classical music collecting, because I wanted to love classical music on vinyl, but I, I just I just can't do it. Oh yeah, I love. Kat was saying she never thought of listening to classical on CD before. Well, I'm a big fan of opera, symphonies, and ballet. So I love these multi CD sets. This is a 3 CD set, and you get they'll almost always come with a thick book like this, because you're gonna have the original dialogue along with the translated dialogue. Um, huh. Kat says she has a huge classical romantic collection on vinyl. On vinyl. Um, See, I actually have shelves set aside specifically um, for classical music on vinyl, but especially the box sets of operas in particular. Um, I put them on, and they're trying to cram 30 to 40 minutes on each side of the record. Like one of the box sets, they're it's literally 40 minutes per side, and I'm like, how can they do this? And I put it on, and I quickly realize it's because the grooves are so shallow that, first of all, the volume is really low. The sound quality is horrendous, and so in cases like that, it's just not worth collecting classical on vinyl. The one exception for me, I'm gonna keep my. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but my Deutsche Grammophon records, those tend to be higher quality, and of course those are individual records too. Just excerpts from longer works, that sort of thing. Um, yeah, so I'm going back to collecting classical on CD now, and classical music. Classical music on CD, um, the prices are surprisingly still high. In most music, CD prices are way down. You can very easily get brand new albums for under $10 on CD. And frequently you can get the cat's making weird noises. I wonder if he's okay. I better check on him. Pardon me. You okay, Bertram? Huh. Well, sorry about that, but probably a hairball, yeah. Um, London is usually a good label. Um, yeah, so classical music on vinyl just is not cutting it for me. I think the cat was having a bad dream or something. Uh, your cat is going to the vet today? I hope to get something fixed. Fixed. um, in other words, I hope there's nothing seriously wrong. Huh. The cat is kind of freaking me out now. All right, so I got some pretty good CDs here still. The vet bill is gonna crush your vinyl budget. Yeah, yeah. But they're like our kids, so we have to take care of them. It was our choice to adopt them or bring them into this world. Well, maybe not bring them into this world, but you know what I mean. This conversation is so random. Oh yeah. All right, so back to music. But yeah, I hope your cat is okay. This was just an interesting find. Wake Up Dead Man by Thomas James Lemieux. And ordinarily, I probably would have bought it anyway, actually. Because I love like independent releases. But what really sold me on it is you're not going to be able to make it out. Oh, there you go. Right here, it's number 14 of 100. So it's a limited edition. Madeline and Agatha got haircuts, so she's looking good. 14 of 100, yeah. So I don't even know what kind of music it is. I see a cowboy hat, so it could be country. But I like country. Yeah, but I just like the the packaging on this is actually pretty neat too. First of all, it's on this craft type paper. Nice artsy design. And it comes in a little sleeve, just like a record. And it even has it's kind with the rounded bottom. Oh man. Um, and it's one of those CDs that is black, and so it says on here, note the solid black side of this disc is the bottom. That's funny. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Um, blind buy. I love my blind buys. There you go. Definitely not a blind buy. Um, Robert Johnson, King of the Delta Blues. Oh, King of the Delta Blues Singers. Sorry. And it's interesting to see that it has the pounds on it rather than dollars. Yeah, UK release. Although I couldn't find on the actual CD itself. Uh, yeah, I don't see on this actual CD itself, any specification that it's a UK release. But I mean, that would kind of tell you that it is. Yeah, Robert Johnson. Um, Definitely someone I'm familiar with his music, but I need him in my collection. Um, is he the one that had a heart condition? That I don't know. That I don't know. U.S. import into the U.K. I guess it could be. um, Matt was asking if I ever swapped the the cases. I've done that with cassettes because it's quick and easy to do it. CDs, it's a little more involved, and people will be like, "Okay, what is he doing?" So I feel a little self-conscious about doing that. If it was something that I absolutely like had to have, and the case was just destroyed, I probably would. And I actually have empty ones on hand. I think too. Um, but some have the gray or the black tray, and then some have the clear. So yeah. But this one's in great shape. Um, Here's one I hadn't seen before. Flight of the Conchords. It's an EP. I guess it's the Distant Future. An EP with 3 songs, and then it looks like 3 live tracks. I need a drink here. I love Flight of the Conchords. I watched the series. Originated in New Zealand, and they had the actual Flight of the Conchords album also, but I deemed that the CD was too scratched. I used to have it at some point, although this one had better packaging, so I don't know. Maybe I should have picked it up just for the packaging alone. Um, yeah, but I don't know how many of you are familiar with Flight of the Conchords, but it's basically I guess you'd call it a sitcom, um, revolving around this sort of 2-man band called Flight of the Conchords, and there's really not much on there, is there? um, but an interesting story. So the members are Jermaine Clement and Brett McKenzie. First of all, Jermaine Clement was more recently in a movie called What We Do in the Shadows. Please, please, please do yourself the favor of watching that movie. It is absolutely hilarious. it's basically about it's filmed like a reality show, and it's focusing on um, uh, these vampires that are rooming together. So it's absolutely hilarious. So definitely do yourself the favor of watching Jermaine Clement in What We Do in the Shadows. It is available on Netflix. But an interesting story. Um, I think it may have been when the wife and I still had Disneyland passes, and so we would frequently go in the evening and avoid the heat of the day and at least some of the screaming kids. So we found a restroom, and the wife went in there, and I was sitting on the rail waiting for her, and it dawned on me that standing maybe 5 feet away from me, leaning on the other rail with his his child in like a stroller thing was Brett McKenzie. And first of all, for the life of me, even though I'm a huge Flight of the Conchords fan, for the life of me, I could not remember his name. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's him, that's him. Yep, from Flight of the Conchords. Yep, that's him. Oh my goodness, he's standing like 5 feet away from me. I should say something to him, but I don't remember his name. Oh my gosh, he's standing right there. I could just reach out and touch him. I was having like a total fanboy moment, and yeah, um, and it was interesting because I guess he was considered a VIP. So the VIPs at Disneyland, they have a cast member. All the employees at Disneyland are called cast members. He had a cast member, that was basically, with him at all times, and I guess, guiding him, helping him, whatever. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I thought that was so cool that he was standing like 5 feet away from me. I do regret not saying something to him, but he did have this kind of awkward look on his face, like he was wearing a ball cap, and I just felt like, he probably wasn't in the mood for being recognized or anything like that. Although I'm sure he doesn't get that all that often, but um, yeah. So that's my sort of fanboy moment, and uh, yeah, I love Flight of the Conchords. Definitely check that out, and check out What We Do in the Shadows. That movie is hilarious, and that show is hilarious too. It's just absolutely brilliant. I just love it. Um, and the last thing I have to show you is a CD. I already have this on vinyl, but I've never owned this on CD, and I had to get it because this guy just blows me away. Yeah. So it's Anthony and the Johnsons. Um, I Am a Bird Now, and I have this on vinyl. But when I saw this on CD at Savers for $2, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. So he just has like a absolutely heartbreaking voice, and Matt was saying that he saw that on when he was at Savers. Yeah, so there's the sort of booklet for it. Kind of an interesting booklet actually, and it's going to have some uh, graphic images. Well, a graphic image, I guess. Um, but yeah, the packaging on this is pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so basically, it's my understanding that Anthony has since had a sex change, and um, he he changed his name when he became female, um, and I don't remember it right now. It's yeah, it's not your everyday name, but his voice is just absolutely amazing. And sadly, it's not on this album, but I think the song that really sold me on his voice or on him as an artist is "Cut the World." I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, and it's a brilliant, brilliant, beautiful, heartbreaking song, and his vocals are just they'll cut you into shreds. Yeah, so this is a good one, but I think I still need to get. And his stuff is not easy to find. I always look at Mad Platter, and that um, they have a divider for Anthony and the Johnsons, but it's always empty, always empty. So I may just resort to buying it online. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to show. I'm probably gonna wrap this up in about 8 or 9 minutes to leave it at about an hour. The last live video went incredibly long. I was getting a lot of questions, that sort of thing. Um, I'm doing these live videos. I'm learning a lot about them. Um, the biggest disappointment for me is, I'm talking and I'm showing things, and so I miss a lot of comments. And unfortunately, there's no way for me to go back and look at the comments, like the comments from the chat room, basically. Um, and I think people in general on YouTube are still getting used to the idea of live videos, and so I've gotten some thumbs down on these live videos. Um, I'm assuming because people don't realize that, okay, this is something I'm just you know I'm basically just visiting and talking with the people that are here, and you're free to skip around in the video. A lot of people don't even realize you can skip around in the video. You don't have to, if you're in a boring part of the video, don't just stop watching. You can skip to another part. um, yeah, so I'm learning a lot about it. It's also it's not doing anything for me subscriber wise. I think it's a good way to get it to stay in touch with people that follow my channel. So in that regard, it's a very good thing. Um, but as far as subscribers, I've actually lost subscribers from from these videos. Um, but I feel it's worth it because the people that I'm losing probably don't really care that much about me anyway. So I don't feel too bad, but it is kind of discouraging to see the subscriber numbers go down a little bit. Um, but I would love to hear people's thoughts on these live videos. Do you think they should be shorter? Do you think an hour is good? An hour and 40 minutes. That was just. I think that was too much. We did have a lot of good conversations and stuff like that, but oh, you lost 8 subs in the last 2 weeks. But That's DJ Legion. But aren't you like taking a break or something from videos? So maybe when you say that, people might say, okay, well, I'm not going to subscribe to him anymore, something like that. Um, Let me see what Matt was saying. Yeah, I am going. Matt is suggesting I go back to a few non-live videos. And honestly, these live videos, it partly started as an experiment, and then it kind of continued out of just being lazy. Because I mean, it's the quickest way to get a video online, and it's really fun actually. Being able to instantly interact with people. So in that regard, it's definitely a good thing. Um, but I am going to go back to doing non-live videos. I need to film. Um, I Just the other day, actually, while we were in Big Bear. Ah, that reminds me, I totally forgot to show. Oh man! So we were in Big Bear. All right, this might go over an hour now. I totally forgot to show. Yeah, over the weekend for like 3 days, we were in Big Bear, and some of you may know that last year, around the same time, I went to Big Bear and discovered Village Music. Um, it's a decent store overall. Most of the prices are too high. Um, he had some okay dollar bins. I didn't find anything in the dollar bins this time. I did find a CD and a record, so let me grab those real quick. I think Matt was saying that Big Bear is one of your favorite places. Ah, you had your honeymoon there, Matt. We did too. That's hilarious. Yeah. Uh. Wait. What? Oh no. 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 I'm wrong. I'm wrong. See, I'm confused because every year around the time of our anniversary, we call whatever trip or whatever special thing we do, we call it our honeymoon every year for 11 years now. And that was our first anniversary. Yeah, that was our first anniversary. So our second honeymoon. Yeah, our first anniversary was spent at Big Bear, um, and we stayed at the Eagle's Nest, a bed and breakfast, and it was fantastic. And I definitely one day, even if it's only a three or 400 square foot house, I definitely one day have to have a house in Big Bear. If nothing else, but to get away for the summer and get away from the heat. I love it in Big Bear. I really do. Idlewild is good too, but I digress. It's a lot safer getting up and down from Big Bear though. uh, a dry toboggan run. Oh, you know what? I that must have been what they were doing. We saw them coming down the hill. The hill. We saw them coming down the mountain. So that yeah, that I think that's what that was. So you have a negative association with that. All right. So these two items I picked up, they're very yeah. They couldn't be much more different. First of all, this is the receipt. Only spent $8 there, but it's Village Music on Pine Knot in Big Bear Lake. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's totally what it looked like, a concrete toboggan run. Let's see. You control the brake yourself. I failed to control the brake and went flying at a Ooh. Oh, Matt. So you had a bit of an incident there, huh? Yeah, it's right there in the village, where all the little gift shops and restaurants and there's a candy store there and the theaters there. On one side there's yeah, Splat. On one side there's a music store. I don't know how long he's been there actually, but he's been there at least a year. So um, I'll show the I'll show the CD first. Oh yeah, so uh, this one goes out to DJ Legion, um, some Morbid Angel. I don't know. Are you into death metal, Brian? Um, I know you're into metal, obviously, but I don't know how far into metal you go. But this is not really okay. Yeah, this is death metal. It's Morbid Angel. Um, Formulas fatal to the flesh. Um, I think I'm discovering I do prefer black metal to death metal, but that it tends to be a little more emotionally charged. Um, but all kinds of music, you know, I think they have a place in my life anyway. So there's times I definitely want to listen to death metal, black metal, extreme metal. Yeah, so Morbid Angel, Formulas fatal to the flesh. Oh, yeah. And as I mentioned, this next one couldn't be any more different from that. Well, I mean, it's the same very, very general genre, and I mean very general, like, rock and roll. And let's just take it out of the plastic here. I'm slowly but surely collecting Jerry Lee Lewis. So this is She Even Woke Me Up to Say Goodbye. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis is fantastic. I'm very yes, The Killer. I'm very slowly picking up his albums. First of all, I don't think I've ever found one in a thrift store. It's always been at record shows or um, record stores. So this was only $5. So as far as the prices at Village Music, this was not bad. He has some. There's the dollar bins, which really had. Well, it had a couple items I wanted, but they were not in condition I wanted. And then he had some like 4 boxes of $5 records, and then maybe another 4 boxes of half price records, and then the rest of the store probably for used records, which is all he has, probably averages $15 to $20. So definitely on the expensive side. Yeah. Yeah, so I love Jerry Lee Lewis, so I was glad to pick this up, especially for $5. Um, he had some Michael Nesmith records. Oh wow, you have a whole lot of Shaken on Sun. Wow, that's DJ Legion. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so uh, oh yeah, he had some Michael Nesmith records. Some that I had never seen in person, and first of all, they were $25 to $30 for used records. And I mean, let's get real here. We're talking Michael Nesmith. Um, don't get me wrong, I love Michael Nesmith, but you know his solo stuff um, is a little hit or miss, a little hit or miss. But I love it. I still love it though. So you know, I'm just a fan, a Michael Nesmith fan. Um, but bear in mind, these are priced $25 to $30, and on the little sticker he writes mint, and I can tell just by looking at the outer sleeve it's not mint. There's like wear on the top of the spine, and yeah, I mean I didn't actually look at the records just because I'm not gonna pay 25 or $30 for a Michael Nesmith record. I mean, yeah. It's just that simple. Yeah. But I've been eyeing ones at Mad Platter, and hopefully those will. Well, I doubt they'll come down in price, but I would like to see some in better condition for the price he has them. I think he has them like $8 to $10 in that range. I think closer to the $10 range, which for a used record, I don't know. I have to really want it to pay $10 or more for it. $10 is like my point where it's my sweet spot for buying new records. If I can find a new record for $10, and I even just am slightly interested in the artist, I'll pick it up for $10. um, but for a used record, I mean, I have to really want it to pay that much for it. 95% of my collection were $2 or less. So, you know. Anyway, I did say I wanted to stick to the hour mark today, and we only have 3 people left. So, but perhaps in the comment section of this video, once it's actually posted, I would like to hear more feedback on these live videos. I'm going to keep doing them weekly, just because I know there's at least a few people that really find them entertaining. But I don't know. Part of me wants to make them bi-weekly or even once a month. I just don't know. So I need your feedback. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.